This video I'm going to talk about another implementation of scripting in GeoGebra, and one that's maybe more useful than the other ones that I've presented. Let's suppose you have an animation and you want it to play just once. You don't want it to repeat. Let's handle this with scripting. So first of all, I'm going to create a slider. We'll name it t. So we'll do t equals slider. We'll let t go from 0 to 5 in pretty small increments. Now if I right click on t, and I click this animation checkbox, t is going to increase. Now we'll speed things up a little bit. Now once it hits its final value, it's going to start decreasing back down to its initial value. And we can change properties of this by right-clicking on t, going to the Object Properties, Slider tab. Now we can increase the speed a little bit. I'm going to increase the speed to 2 so we don't have to wait as long. And notice that you can also change whether or not this repeats. So by default it's oscillating, meaning it's going to go back and forth. You can make it so that it only increases, but then once it hits the end, it just restarts. And then there's an option to increase once, which is what we want to do. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to close out of the Object Properties. And now t increases to 5, but now if we want to reset this, we've got to drag t all the way back. And we can hit play over here, or we can right click and hit animation again. Now this isn't that much work, but it could be not very convenient if you have to do this a lot of times. So what we could do is take a button, so we'll use the button tool, we'll place it near the slider, and I'll just caption it start. And what we'll do is add some scripts to this. So every time the button is clicked, we're going to start by setting the value with the set value function of t. We're going to set the value of t to 0. We're also, after we set the value of t to 0, we're going to do start animation, and we want to start the animation of t, so we feed it a second input of true. So again, these are functions that can be found in the scripting help, or you can Google these and find documentation, but they do basically what they say they're going to do. So we're going to set the value of t to 0, and then we'll start the animation of t. So we'll hit OK. And I think I spelled this wrong, but that's okay. I'm going to click on this button, and notice that it starts t over, and then it plays t. And it's as easy as just clicking a button. So this is pretty convenient. Now, just to show maybe a not very useful example of how we could use this, but if we did f of x equals if x is less than t, e raised to a power of sine of x, we can imagine tracing out a function graph. So now when I hit the button, the rest of this function graph is being traced out. Now you'll probably do something more sophisticated than that, but that shows how you can create a scenario that only plays once, but you can start the scenario just by clicking a button.